Hello YouTube, this is MT Shark 7 here, and this is another edition of Game Hunting. And this time I am out in San Diego, California. And funny thing is there's actually only 2 video game stores that I've done research on in the area. So that's like, oof. I thought I was being like punked or something. Only 2 video game stores? I mean, there's, GameStops and Red Boxes, but they don't count. They don't count at all. So, yeah, there's only 2 video game stores. There's GameRave and Luna Video Games. And I'll go into more detail later on in the video. So, there's actually a lot of, like, tons of thrift stores in the area. But the bad news is all of them close at like 3 in the afternoon. So when I get off work, like they're already closed for the night. Except there is one Salvation Army I went to that is open till 8. So I ended up stopping in there like my first night that I went out, and yeah, they didn't have anything. They had like all sports games, nothing unique or anything I would be interested in buying. So I look around. Oh, excuse me, and I can't find anything. No loose controllers. There's nothing. And so I go in and I look around and I look more into I saw another stack of like games, like mostly just sports games that I don't really care for. So I found this. I only got one game. It's Arctic Thunder, and it had a price tag on there for $1. So I'm like, sweet, $1, hell, I'll get that. I don't care. For $1, that can't beat that. So I go up to the register, and the woman says, "Oh, it's $2.35. I'm like, "But wait a minute! It says it's marked on here $1." And she's like, "Yeah, I know." And she's like ripping it off. She's like, "The guys, they ended up mismarking it or something. But since they did that, I'll give it to you for $1." I'm like, "Well, you kind of have to. It says $1 on here." So she was nice enough to give me it for $1, and I'm impressed with her removal of that dollar sticker. There is no residue at all, and looks like it wasn't even there. Wow, I was quite impressed with that. And so I pay for it, and I asked for a bag, and here I'm thinking they're just going to give me some plastic bag, but no, they end up giving me a reusable Walmart bag. Now, I know you probably can't. Oops. Crap. You know you can't read that because it's in mirrored. But everyone knows what the Walmart logo is. There's nothing new. So, I was looking around and I stopped at the one game store out of 2. This place is called GameRave. And I'm sure a lot of people on YouTube are gonna know that GameRave isn't a good store. Avoid them like the plague. It is bad. Like, oh my god. Don't go in there. And this is my little notepad I write down. I use when I go on travel for game hunting. I write down like the video game stores I go to. I give them an X if they sucked, and a check if I'll go back to them again. And these are the thrift stores that were closed. And there's the Salvation Army. I may go back there next time. I don't know. I mean, the Salvation Army, they always get shit in every day, so I might strike gold. Who knows? I'm just didn't that day. So anyway, I'm getting off track. So I go into GameRave, and oh my gosh. Well, I didn't even know what to expect. So I go in, and the guy's like, "Yeah, well, if you spend $40 or more, you can get, like, they give you, like, a token to play their arcade for, like, a half hour or some crap. And, you know, he went off and there's like these kids like in a circle, like there's like a round table and they're playing like Magic. It's kind of like a game store, comic store, like the one side's games and the other side is all comics. And they're like hanging out playing Magic. And I'm looking at the prices of these games that they're selling, and oh my god, they are way overpriced. Like, it makes eBay look like a saint. Like, eBay prices, even with them including the shipping, is a lot cheaper than what they charge. It is fucking outrageous. Like, common $4 NES games are like $15 and up. $15 and up. Oh my god, what is it? What are they smoking? They must have been at a rave doing fucking, I don't know, fucking ecstasy or some shit when they came up with these fucking prices. Good god. Oh my god. And I'll put a link in the description of like the game stores that I visit. And you can see for yourself their reviews, and you can, you know what, call them up. Tell them MT Shark 7 said to go fuck yourselves and your prices are outrageous. It's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, so that was a bust. Wait, one down. There's only one more store left. So that was it for that night. And then the next night I decided to go up to the last video game store. It's called Luna Video Games. In this place, before I go into more detail, I'll go in the backstory. Now, when I was researching, I was like looking on Google and their reviews, and that place got great reviews. And what was I saying? They had like little like oh gosh, I've been losing my train of thought here. They have little commercials they did on YouTube. And it has Pat the NES Punk on it. And I'm looking at like the video and I'm like, wow, this looks kind of familiar. Because I watched Pat the NES Punk and all of his videos, and I watched him doing the podcast with Ian Ferguson. And so I'm like, that looks like the game store that Pat goes to in his whole series, the Pat the NES Punk. And sure enough, it is. Luna Video Games is actually that place, because the one co-star that I just mentioned, Ian Ferguson, I guess he's like friends with Pat, and they do the podcast together, and he's also a co-star in his whole series. And it's funny, because if you, I don't know if anyone I'm sure people on YouTube watched Pat the NES Punk, and he actually portrays as like, he's like a villain in the game. I mean, in the game, in his series, his web series. And he comes off like a jerk, but he was there at the game store, and my first thought was like, oh my god, I hope this guy isn't like, you know, a prick or anything, because he doesn't seem that way when they do the podcast. He seems like a decent guy. So, you know, I go in there and I'm picking out a few games. Not too much, because I'm really trying to pay off that damn credit card, amongst other things. So I go in and I pick stuff up, and I'm talking to him for a little bit, and yeah, I was like, oh yeah, you're Ian Ferguson, and I tell him, I'm like, yeah, like you're the stuff you do with Pat Country, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Pat the NES Punk. And he's like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know, he's kind of like a, you know, YouTube celebrity. So so he was ringing me up, and the one game, he was like, oh, I have plenty of these games, and he ended up giving it to me for free. And I picked up a bunch of like blank cases, and he forgot to add that to the total, I guess, when he rung me up. And he's like, you know what, I'll just add $2, which I think I got more than $2. I definitely got more than $2 worth of cases here. So that was freaking awesome. Like the first time I ever came in the store, and he hooked me up. I was like super impressed. And we talked for a little bit. I didn't talk too much to him because I didn't want to like be annoying or in any way. But I told he was like, yeah, definitely stop by, because I told him I was on travel and I like to check out game stores in the area. And he's like, yeah, definitely come on, come on by again when you come out. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that I'm definitely gonna come back to Luna Video Games, and I would highly recommend going to them and only them, because they're the only game store in San Diego. And tell them MT Shark 7 sent you, and MT Shark 7 approved. So yeah, we'll get on to the pickups that I got at Luna Video Games. So as you heard, well, one case fell on the floor. I got a bunch of Game Boy and a 3-way Game Boy Advance case, which oddly enough, I think I only have 3 loose Game Boy Advance games, so that'll work out nicely. Finally put them in a case, and got another stack, and one's on the floor. I'm not gonna pick it up. You all know what they look like. It's nothing new. And here, on to the games. I got Ratchet and Clank Size Matters for the PSP, which I think this is like this isn't even related to the PlayStation 2 games. It's like a whole different story. Yeah, it says an original adventure. I don't know if you can read that with the way the camera mirrors everything. Stupid thing. Next up, I ended up getting Medal of Honor Warfighter Limited Edition for the PS3. I can add that to my backlog of PS3 games I have to still beat and play. Next up, we got Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusades. Another only on Xbox game knocked off the list. So this looks pretty interesting. It looks kind of like a Kessen-ish sort of game, which when I was there, I actually was looking for Kessen, because I wanted to get 1 and 2 for PlayStation 2. I never played them, and I know they're like, well, the first one was a launch title, and I always wanted to try it out. And lastly, I picked up SOCOM 2 U.S. Navy SEALs, which was the free game. So thanks, Ian. And there's that. I think I only need 3, and the other one, it's not called 4. It's a SOCOM and some name I forget. So yeah, so that's all I picked up while I was out on travel out in San Diego this time. And I'll have another game hunting video up in a couple weeks, because excuse me, I'm going out to Calabasas for testing, which is in LA. And yeah, I think I'm kind of like doing this as like a service, you know, to all my YouTube viewers, kind of like scoping out video game stores in like other areas that I visit while on travel, so that way you can know what, if you're ever out in the area, what video game stores to hit up. You don't have to be wasting time with GameRave or any other overpriced bullshit nonsense. And I was reading some of the reviews, and like people were saying that they had no clue what games were worth. They had to like look it up online, which you know what that means. They're going to look it up on eBay, which I don't think that's true, because eBay is a lot cheaper. So I don't know where they get their prices. They're just pulling shit out of their ass. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description for both game stores if you want to check out their reviews or whatever, or I don't know, whatever you want to do, and it's fine by me. So yeah, so that's it. And it's, yeah, actually, I was thinking, I was like, I wonder, because I know when I'm out in my previous game pickups, like I've never really dealt with bad game stores like GameRave. But then I remember, like, the first time when I went to LA, there was the one game store that was really bad, and it was overpriced as well, and their customer service was horrible, just the same as GameRave. They just like, I don't know how a company like that stays in business. So I'll recap that. I'm not going to go there when I go back out in LA, but I will recap it in a future video since it was the travel trip before my first game pickups video. So anyway, I think I've rambled on far enough, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry I couldn't show the Game Boy case that fell on the floor. I apologize, and yeah, this is MT Shark 7. Oh, wait, and I also wanted to show, and this is not game related, but I picked this up for my daughter, a Navy outfit, and it's 12 months, so it's perfect. Then that way, when she turns 1, weather will hopefully start to get better. So there's that, and yeah, that's basically it. And this is MT Shark 7 signing out.